All right, welcome to yoga. So today we're going to put some spring in our step, and we're going to focus on some heat in the core and our foundation, and placing our trust in that foundation so that we can begin to take flight, thinking about spring coming, birds beginning to migrate. So I invite you to find your seat in Sukhasana or Siddhasana. Roll the thighs in, create some space and curve in the lumbar spine. And begin to settle into the seat of the yogi. So you can close your eyes or keep them soft. And just, you can place your hands, if you need a little more grounding, place them palm facing down. If you're thinking you want to open a little bit and think about that idea of taking flight, you can place your palms facing up and see how that feels. And as you begin to settle into this space, I invite you to, with each inhalation, breathe trust into your body's innate wisdom, your ability to hold yourself up. And as you exhale, imagine beginning to take flight. And just breathe for a few moments. Anusara Yoga and Tantra tells us that we have infinite capacity. And so I was thinking about that idea of infinite capacity, opening to something bigger, that idea of opening to grace that we talk about, and how birds do this all of the time. They really channel that inner wisdom, that inner compass that allows them to take a little bit of a step into the unknown with trust. Literally flying. They're probably headed their way to us so that when spring arrives, they'll be here. And so I invite you to open your eyes just softly for a moment and then close them again. Just beginning to awaken to this moment and open them a second time. Close. And finally open them again. I literally have apps springing up. It's like my computer is also taking this thing really seriously. And welcome. So we're going to begin with a gentle twist, and then we're going to do a gentle little flight from a seated position. So taking your, I'll move back so you can see me. You're going to take your right leg back, tucking your right heel in towards your right hip. The left foot is tucked in on the inner right knee. And make sure that you're rooting your right hip down. And to help with that, you can manually just take and widen your sit bones. You're just drawing the flesh of your buttocks. And this helps you to root the right hip down. So really, before we take flight, we really need that foundation to give us that stepping off point. And then you're going to take your right hand, the outside of the left knee, the left hand comes behind up on fingertips. This is the gentle twist. So inhale, taking that energy from the earth, from that foundation, and inhaling to open to the possibility of flight, each twist. Each inhalation is an invitation to lengthen and begin to touch that infinite. Just tentatively stepping into that mindset. And exhaling, twisting. On the next inhalation, we're going to walk the left hand in a little bit closer to the hips and take the right arm forward with the palm facing up. And then on an inhale, we're going to lift the hips, push them forward, and reach behind us. So it's a gentle back bend, a bit of a front thigh stretch as well. We're still rooted to the earth. We've got that foundation, but we're beginning to trust in that inner wisdom to reach up and touch the infinite, to take a little flight, just a practice flight, like young birds learning how to fly. And then we're going to shift and do the other side. So now tucking the left foot by the left hip, the right foot comes to touch the inner left thigh. And again, you can manually widen your right glute, drawing the glutes out. Atticus, go lay down. So that you can root your left heel down, take the left hand to the outside of the right knee, the right hand comes behind up on fingertips. And as you inhale, lengthen the side body, growing tall through the crown of the head, lifting the heart and opening, and exhale and twist. Each inhalation to lengthen, each exhalation a twist. Then inhale, return to center, keeping the right hand up on fingertips, walking a little close to the hip. Left hand, palm facing up, the arm forward. And again, we'll inhale, lift the hips, draw them forward while reaching back. Practice flight, like flying with old training wheels. Testing that ability to fly with a little bit of an anchor, several points connected to the earth still. And exhale, come back down. We're going to come into table pose. The hands come beneath the wrists, shoulder width apart, knees beneath the hips. That hip width apart, toes curled under. And find that foundation, find that steadiness. Connect to your core, to that inner wisdom, and draw the core towards the back, creating that neutral spine, often a little bit between the shoulders. And following your breath, tilt the pelvis forward and draw the gaze forward into cow. On the exhale, rounding, moving into cat. And just following your own breath and your own rhythm, following your inner compass, and moving through cat cow. There are species of birds that do, it's like they do little warm-up exercises before they fly, almost like little push-ups. So it's like we're warming up the body to get ready to fly. And then finishing this round of cat-cow, we're going to do a little core work to heat the body and also prepare for flight. So bring the right arm forward and the left leg back and hug your energy to the center, engaging the core, finding that stability, even as we lift off just a little bit. And exhale, lower down, other side. Those first moments where we lift up and kind of lose our center of gravity, but if we hug it in, we can create stability. Stay connected to the center. And exhale, lower down. The third time. Maybe noticing that each time you find that stability, that strength in your center a little bit faster. Other side. We're going to repeat this, and this time, so we take the right arm forward, left leg back, and on the exhale, we're going to draw knee to elbow and round the back. And do that 3 times. And release on the other side. Left arm forward, right leg back, hug it in. Exhale, knee to elbow. And release down. We come into downward facing dog. I'm going to relinquish my socks. Take hands as wide as the mat, fingers spread wide. And step back however you like to come into downward facing dog. I like to move into plank first, so I have essentially about the distance between hands and feet for downward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Find your space in this pose. Feet about hip width distance apart, and you can draw the left heel down, left thigh back, and bend the right knee. Walk the dog, switch sides. Breathing really deep cleansing breath here. From downward facing dog, inhale, sweep your body forward to plank. Gaze forward, soften beneath the shoulder, between the shoulder. Engage the core, the legs are firm and strong. Imagining you're flying, like your yoga mat is a flying carpet. And then push your hands forward energetically, draw your hips back, downward facing dog. 2 more times. And push back. 3rd time. Inhale your right leg up towards the sky. Flex the foot, point the toes, roll the thigh in so the hips are square to the mat. And exhale, draw the right knee forward, knee to nose. Inhale the right leg up to the sky. Exhale, knee to left elbow. 3rd time, the right leg comes up to the sky. And this time, exhale, knee to right elbow, left. And then extend the right leg all the way through, coming up onto the outer edge of the foot. Lift the hips, come onto the inner edge of the left foot, and twist and open for an inverse side plank, reverse side plank, twisted side plank. We're still in 3 points. We're using a little bit more of that core strength, that inner wisdom to reach up to the infinite, to fly with a little heat. Like we're still in training wheels, but we're doing a little bit more advanced work. And exhale, come back, downward facing dog. And pause for a moment. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Come all the way to the mat. Rock the hips from side to side. So the inner thigh is coming up towards the sky. Spread the toes wide. Bring your hands towards your ribs. Shoulders onto the back. Draw your hands back towards your feet and bring the heart forward and up for a baby cobra. Chin a little bit. Feel your heart open. Remember that inner wisdom. And curl the toes under and come back. Downward facing dog. We're going to move through that sequence on the other side. Inhale, lift the left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, knee towards the nose, rocking forward. Inhale, left leg rises up. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale a 3rd time. Exhale, knee to left elbow and then right, and then extend all the way through. Coming up on the outer edge of the left foot, the inner edge of the right. Hips lifted really strong in the left arm, fingers spread wide on both hands. Maybe even look up the lifted arm. It's good to look ahead before you take flight to see where you're going. And here we get a glimpse. And then exhale, come down. You can come to child's pose for a moment. Whichever form of child's pose you feel drawn to. And feel the heat in the body. Feel that life force. It's like the vibrations of your energy body are connecting with that inner wisdom. It's like an alchemical coming together to help your whole being work towards liftoff. And breathe into that space of knowing and trust. On an inhale, we'll come back to table and then back into downward facing dog. Bend the knees deeply, tilt the pelvis forward and widen the sitting bones. Hug the core in just a little. And then begin to lift the hips, straighten the legs any amount, and push back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. On an inhale, bend the knees, gaze between your hands, and maybe hop forward to meet your hands in Uttanasana. Inhale the heart forward halfway. Exhale, fold. Release the hands to the feet, bend the knees, draw the shoulders onto the back, and slowly come to rise up. Urdhva Hastasana, reaching for the sky. Exhale, the hands come to heart center in Anjali Mudra. Check that your feet are hip-width apart and parallel, and bend the knees. Release the hands down. Tadasana, mountain pose. Breathe deeply. Inhaling trust in your foundation, your inner wisdom. And exhaling, feeling that joy that comes with trust. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, dive all the way down to meet the feet in Uttanasana. Inhale the heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Inhale, bring the heart forward. Exhale, lower down, Chaturanga. Take the tops of the feet flat, rock the hips from side to side. Bring your arms straight at the sides, fingers spread wide. And hug your energy to the center. Hugging the legs together, feet together. Firm your core. And notice there's a little bit of lift up that happens just by engaging that center. Draw your shoulders onto the back. And inhale, lift the arms, lift the legs. Breathe in this space. Hugging center, engaging trust. And maybe even drawing the arms and the legs out to the side a little bit. In. A little bit more of a flight exercise, but we're still close to the earth. So you don't have to worry. We're still a little unsteady with our wing. Exhale, lower down. And pause. You can make a pillow with your arms. Rest your forehead on your arms or rest looking to one side or the other. Take several cleansing breaths. If you're turning your head to one side, just make sure after a couple breaths to rotate to the other side. And then bringing the hands by the lower ribs, curl the toes under, push up to plank pose, and back to downward facing dog. You can walk the dog here. Continuing to stretch out the muscles to find our way to that center, to that place of trust. We're doing a lot of prep work before flying, but there are some species of birds that just jump off a cliff from the nest and just do it. I think it's okay to take our time. Bend the knees, gaze between the hands, and hop or walk forward. Inhale the heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, lower down. Bend the knees, release the hands to the hips, and come to rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Open the heart to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center, and release down. Bend the knees, release some of that muscular energy and just soften. And then inhale. Lift the arms all the way up, drawing that trust all the way in, holding it between the palms of your hands. Exhale, drawing that trust down to the heart center, to that space of wisdom, and release the hands down. 2 more times, inhaling trust. And exhale, drawing the hands to heart center. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, rise up, creating that bubble of trust all around the body, and drawing down to heart center. Release the hands down. Make sure that your feet are hip width apart and parallel. Lift the toes and spread them wide, engaging the muscles in your lower legs. Root down the big mound behind the big toe, creating inner spiral. Lower the toes. Bend the knees and draw the hips back. Engage the core and sweep the arms forward, Utkatasana. Bend the knees a little bit deeper, keeping that inner spiral. With the arms, draw the hips back. Hug your core. Engage that inner wisdom. And exhale, touch down, Uttanasana. Inhale the heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step the right leg back, runner's lunge. Hug the feet together, sweep the arms back, palms facing up, and inhale, rise up, high lunge. Engage the core. Feel that strength, that lift that you get from trusting the foundation and rising up. Exhale, touch down, step back to plank pose. Inhale the heart forward, exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Take the tops of the feet flat, rock the hips from side to side. Arms come beside the lower legs. Engage the core. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the legs. Flying a little faster now. Exhale, lower down, curl the toes under, push up to plank, and back to downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up to the sky, sweep the right leg forward, runner's lunge. Hug your energy to the center. Feel that steady, strong foundation, and sweep the arms back, palms facing up, rise up, high lunge. Maybe take a little bit of back bend. When we fly, we don't always see our foundation. So it's placing trust in that wisdom, knowing that it's there, that we can hold ourselves up. Exhale, touch down, flip the back foot up to meet the front. Bend the knees, the hips, draw back, pelvis tilting forward, and come up to Utkatasana. Inhale, rise up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to heart center, and Ananda Mudra, and release the hands down. Tadasana. Feel that vibration of energy, that prana life force. moving through the whole being. Beautiful vibration, trust, and the freedom and joy that comes from focusing on that. We're going to come into tree pose. And so you can start with tree pose on placing the right weight in the right foot. So taking the left foot and coming into whichever tree variation you prefer. And taking time to set that foundation. That can help by focusing the drishti, the gaze, on the spot on the earth or straight ahead. The hands can come to heart center, at the hips. Take time to connect the foundation. Allow the heart to open to the possibility of flight. Even as a tree is rooted into the earth, the branches and the leaves are always connecting with that flying energy. So I invite you to connect as well, lifting the arms, spreading your branches wide, maybe swaying a little, your own tree flying dance. Your unique expression. And bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra at the heart, release the left foot and slowly step back to runner's lunge. Find that foundation. Take the left elbow and place it on the outside of the right knee. Push the elbow into the knee and the knee resists so that you turn and twist and open your heart, open your wings to the right side. And breathe. Exhale, touch down. Step the right leg back and the left leg forward. Hands come to Anjali Mudra. Take the right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Press and resist and open the left side. Open your wings, open your heart. Trust and freedom. Exhale, bring the hands back to the heart center and jump, spring off your back foot. Remember that spring in your step. We're literally doing that now. Taking the right foot forward, coming to place the right foot into your yogi's choice variation of tree. Hands can rest on heart center at the hips. As you find your foundation, give your heart space, time, connect with your inner wisdom and that trust. And then inhale and lift up. Fly your branches, those little buds that are just waiting for spring to just begin opening tentatively before the leaves unfurl and fly in the wind. Exhale, release the hands, back to heart center, lower back to Tadasana with grace, with trust. Release the knees, just allow the body to sway. Part of that trust is also that kind of opening the heart and awareness to the elements and connecting with the elements around us, whatever they may be. Some of that just organic energy, that softening, allowing the body to move with whatever's happening rather than trying to control it or brace against it. Just flying with the current. Then returning back to center, we're going to move through sun salutation again and do a version of flying lizard as well. So, stand ready in Tadasana. Open the heart, lift the corners of the mouth. Root the mound of the big toe down to create inner spiral. Hug your core into the center without losing the spiral. And the curve in the lower back. Inhale with the heart. Draw the shoulders back, throat back, tuck the chin. Inhale, trust. Exhale everything else away. On an inhale, the arms rise up, opening our wings. Exhale, dive down to Uttanasana. Inhale the heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step the right leg back to runner's lunge. Inhale the heart forward. Arms sweep back, palms facing up, and then rise up. High lunge. Make a gentle back bend. And then we're going to bring the hands to heart center. And we're going to come down, placing the hands on fingertips. Take the left foot a little bit wide. And we're going to take the left elbow, and I'll face you, so you might want to watch before you do that to see what this looks like. But just like we've done with different poses where we found the arms behind the back, you're going to take the left shoulder, really bend the left knee and tuck the left shoulder as much as you can under the left knee. And then the arm comes out of the diagonal with the palm facing up, just like we've been doing. And then the right arm comes out as well. You can keep the right hand down if you feel like you want to have a little bit more for your foundation. This is where, again, really rooting into the mound of the big toe, keeping that connection to our foundation will help us fly. The breath helps us to fly as well, helps us stay connected to the wisdom that we have within. And then exhale and release. You can come to plank pose and move through vinyasa. You can take a moment in child's pose or downward facing dog, and we'll all meet again in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Trust your innate wisdom and whatever you feel you need in this moment. If you've taken child's pose, find your way to downward facing dog. And on an inhale, lift the right leg up to the sky, sweep the right leg forward, runner's lunge. Hug the feet towards each other. Feel your foundation grow strong. Sweep the arms back, palms facing up, and then rise up. High lunge on the right side. Hug that energy to your center. Remember to trust. And soften that a little. Soften into the space. When we know that trust is there, we can then soften into it and just allow it to let us take flight. Bring the hands to heart center. Bow forward and take the hands down on fingertips. Walk the right foot wide. Keep bending in the right knee. Keep that foundation, that steadiness. And then tuck your, I'm going to face you can see, you're going to tuck your right shoulder now under the right knee. Keep rooting the big mound of your toes down into the earth so you don't collapse to the side or lose that foundation. Take the right arm and then the left, palms facing up. flying behind, flying lizard. All kinds of creatures fly. And people have been dreaming of flight. In our yoga, we can make that dream real. A little trust, or a lot. Exhale, touch down, and come to child's pose. Soften. Allow all of that vibration, all of that energy, body, mind, and spirit to catch up with one another. And just notice what's happening for you as you practice springing into tentative flight in your yoga. A little more than tentative. This is some serious flying practice, I think. Notice what happens in your heart when you place that trust in your ability to fly. Feel a little bit open, perhaps. Some joy, some ananda, some bliss. Coming up to sit on the heels. We're going to do just a little heart opening, gentle back bend. This is a nice way to stretch the thighs, to open, and allow a little of organic energy. That's just softening, kind of relinquishing that engagement to then soften into this space of flight. So coming up on fingertips on either side. Keep the knees hugging in the inner spiral. And then we're going to sweep the fingertips back just behind the hips. Draw the shoulders onto the back. Inhale, lift the hips. And draw the throat back. Just a little opening. Keep drawing the hips forward a little, and then exhale, lower down. The hands sweep back to the side. And we'll do that 2 more times. Inhaling back, and up to open. Keep that inner spiral in the thighs. Exhale, sweep forward. 1 more time. And then closing the eyes. Imagine you're just taking off. And exhale. Come back down. We're going to move into Malasana, and then crow, and then we're going to give side crow a try. This is an invitation, so if you're thinking, oh no, no way, it's also fine, but it's an invitation to just test those waters. Like we've taken some short flights, then we're going to go a little bit further, leave mom and dad at the nest, and do our own thing. But we'll start with Malasana. So come to take the feet hip width apart. My heels already want to lift up, and that's totally fine. Yours do also. Just notice again, are you starting to kind of lose that center? Hug it back in. Root down the mounds, the big toe. That inner spiral, little curve and lower back. You can bring the hands to heart center. And then draw the elbows inside the knee. Press the knees away and resist. You get this strength, this steadiness. You can, if it's available to you, bring the heels down as well. Notice what that feels like. And breathe into the space behind the heart and around the back just a little bit. Bowing your head. A moment of offering the inner teacher the knowledge that we can support ourselves in flight. placing our trust in that space. Sometimes it takes a little literal leap of faith. That's okay too. As we move into crow, taking the hands down, pressing the four corners of the hands into the earth, fingers spread wide. We still have the basic framework from Malasana as we come into crow, but now we're going to lean forward. So the shoulders are above the hands, and we're placing more weight in the hands than the feet. So we could potentially tentatively lift one foot up, and then the other. We're really hugging it in here, a lot of muscular energy. Hug it in, hug it in. Maybe lift the feet up. Hug your knees into the elbows, elbows into knees. And take flight. Gorgeous, really nice. Beautiful corvid crows, love it. Nice, really nice. You can try a couple times. Even if they're short flights, it's all good. Got to start somewhere. And we're
the sweet spot because I know there's like a sweet spot that I can really
yeah. Well, and our yoga is all about forgetting that sweet spot and then intentionally remembering and kind of testing and finding that sweet spot. It's always there, but we just sometimes have to kind of really like place our energy and intention into that remembering, right? Finding that wisdom, focusing on it. So I thought it would be fun to give side crow a try. Why not? So I'll show you what that looks like. You come into, just like we do normally do crow, you have your kind of hands, you're going to place the weight, the elbows come to the side, but I'm going to actually walk my feet over to the left and really hug my knees and really, really press them together. Come really close to my left elbow. And then I'm going to come and try to place that center of gravity over my hands. That's the intention. And then I'm going to keep my right hip just in that sweet center spot. Hug my feet and legs together. And lift my feet. Whew. Talking at the same time is challenging. There's a lot going on. So it's first finding that center space, that inner wisdom, leaning shoulders over the hands, and then just walking the toes out a little. Again, it's finding that sweet spot for flight. You can give it a try. I'm really leaning into putting that gravity over the elbow.
Really? So do you have your arms like out?
Yeah, let's see, because I can't quite see, but let's see. Yeah, because there's different versions of crow. Some people have the elbow straight back. I think mine are often really more to the side. So you can watch. And I'm like walking my feet out. And then my elbows are out to the side. And I kind of just first even just lift off the left foot and then kind of see where that weight is. For me, I'm steadier on my right side. And there's that muscular energy of really hugging the knees together. Yeah, nice. It's not easy. How's it going? It's hard. Yeah. What
It's hard
is,
to keep both knees kind of connected also.
sorry, say it again.
It's hard to keep both knees connected.
Yeah, so that part of it is that hugging, really like hugging the legs together, and then finding that sweet spot of pressing the weight of your, whichever side you're on, onto the outside of the elbow. Kind of, but that's also like flying, right? It's like finding that just that right balance to keep the body lifted. So part of it for me is figuring out that space, the distance from my center, from my hands to walk my toes. And then hugging legs together, really hugging it in the core and finding that weight, where you're placing your weight on your hands as well. So there's a lot of things going on. But it's also one where, like Kat was saying, you might find it for a moment and then you forget and then you come back and practice. And each time that knowledge, that wisdom comes back faster. It's like that with our yoga, right? I mean, with the poses that we do more frequently, just with remembering that we can soften, that we can focus our intention. And so, when we try it again next time, then it'll come that much faster. The closer we get to spring, it'll just you'll literally just take flight. Yeah, exactly. We've got lots of crows and jackdaws. So, and I think the corvid family is just, I think they're a spirit animal for me because they're so smart. They know how to trust and also let go and just kind of, enjoy that, just the humor and capriciousness of life, which I sometimes have trouble with. So it's a good way to sort of try to remember and focus on that. So that was our peak flight pose, staying still relatively close to the ground. But we'll keep working on it, keep flying. For now, we're going to come and do a little bit of a hip opener and pigeon prep, so you can find your way however you like. If you want to go into downward facing dog, lift the leg up, and then sweep the knee. We'll do right side first. So the right knee comes behind the right wrist. And we can take a moment to find foundation. You can lift the back left knee and just sort of scooch the left leg back to get a little more length before lowering the knee down, lowering the right hip. You take the hands out on either side and hug your knees towards each other so you get a little bit of a lift. You can take the arms out. Here's a little flight. And place the hands behind the head and clasp them so you make a little pillow for your head. Keep hugging the knees together, engaging the core, and then just do a gentle back bend, pressing the head into the hands. And then exhale and release, and you can walk the hands forward, bring the elbows out to the side, rest the forehead, and breathe. And allow your body to soften. Soften into gravity, soften into the earth. Another deep cleansing breath. And we're going to walk the hands back and we'll switch sides. Finding your way to pigeon prep on the left side. And again, now the right knee can lift up and scooch back to a little more length. Lowering the back knee. Walk the hands to either side. Up on fingertips. Hug the knees towards each other. Drawing that muscular energy to center and then lift up. Look, Mom, no hand. Flying, a little flight, little gentle flight at the end. Press the head with the hands, engage the core, and then exhale, soften down. And let everything go. Inhale, walk it back in, draw the right leg forward. You come to sit in the middle of the mat. And then we'll lie back. Coming into like coming back to the nest after a long flight. Hug the knees in, wrap your arms from side to side. Imagine yourself fully supported in the nest of downy feathers. Rock the hips from side to side. Nestle in, find your safe, supported space. Hard work of flying is over for the moment. Now we can just allow the earth to hold us up. Release the arms out to the side and the feet come to basically just rest about as wide as the mat. And the knees are pointing up to the sky. We're going to lift the hips and just draw them a little bit to the left. And then you're going to turn the knees towards the right. And for a little bit of a deeper stretch, you can take the right foot over, place on the left knee, and then turn to look over the left hand. And breathe. Take the time to soften. Hold on to that ananda from flight, but release that effort in. And release the right foot down, the lift. Come back to center, the hips recenter. And then we're going to lift the hips, take them a little bit to the left, and then draw the knees to the left. The left foot can come now on the top of the right knee if you'd like, and gaze over the right hand. And release, come back to center, straighten the leg, bring the arms to the side, and we'll finish with a full body stretch before Shavasana. Inhale, windmill the arms up and over, spreading your wings, pointing the toes. Breathe. And then exhale, the arms come back down to the sides, and we'll do that 2 more times. And when you're finished, the 3rd round, I invite you to find what you need to keep your heat, to keep that the benefits of all of that flight practice and create a soft and cozy nest for Shavasana. You might put socks on or get a blanket, pillows. Take your time to nourish the body. Softening after flight is just as important as all of that preparatory work and then the flying itself. And then as you settle into Shavasana, allow the earth and your cozy nest to hold you. As you close your eyes, remember the joy of flight. Honor the trust in your heart, that knowledge, that inner compass, wisdom that's with you always. I am a bird with a broken wing, but I'm still learning how to sing. Nobody likes me, nobody loves me, but still I sing every day. All I have is this moment. All I have is this time. We are not so different, you and I. Let us share this moment. Let us share this time. We are not so different, you and I. I woke up this morning and I could not hear my song, but somehow I found a way to carry on. All I have is this moment. All I have is this time. We are not so different, you and I. Let us share this moment. Let us share this time. We are not so different, you and I. When my song is hard to find, will you share your song with me? If we sing together, we create harmony. All I have is this moment. All I have is this time. We are not so different, you and I. Let us share this moment. Let us share this time. We are not so different, you and I. Slowly begin to deepen the breath, to bring your awareness back into this moment, back into consciousness, using the breath to guide you. Inhaling, feeling that vibration from the toes all the way up through the crown of the head. The beautiful energy from flight that's within you always. And wiggling the toes and the fingers and taking gentle movements to come back into the space of being a little more awake. Eventually on exhalation, hugging your knees into the chest and give yourself a really beautiful hug. And roll to the right side and pause for a moment. The left hand on the heart and the right arm to cradle the head and the neck. And using the hands to push yourself back to a seated position. And come back to Sukhasana or Siddhasana. And sit well. Take that time to find your foundation. To open the heart, to open to grace. And bring the hands to heart center. You can keep the eyes closed or soft for a moment. With the breath, inhale, connect to that inner wisdom, the inner compass. And inhale, trust in that space. That we have the capacity to create that space for remembering. Remembering that we can set our foundation and lift off into flight. And each time we remember, and we remember a little bit faster. It's always there. And the more that we practice remembering and placing our trust, the more freedom and joy we can experience in flight. On an inhalation, lift your heart into the hand. On an exhale, bow to your heart. The heart is the compass for all inner wisdom. And I am very grateful for your beautiful heart, your beautiful wings taking flight. Namaste.